You ready?
Man. Yeah, it's gone.
I see you got an OtterBox for that. Hopefully it won't break.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to break. Oh, wait,
that's because I'm not going to like...
a few weeks ago, he used it as like a performance enhancer. He had it in his back pocket. How many kilos on your back?
No, it was clean with like 100 and something.
So it was over 2 clean or what?
No, it was still warming up.
Okay. Yeah, he warms up with 100 plus kilos.
So he had 100 kilos on the bar? So
yeah.
he cleans 100 kilos, hits the bottom of the squat, boom, cracks his phone.
His phone shoots him up.
So does that count as is that natural or is that iPhone assisted?
Yeah, that's performance enhancement.
That's called being a dumbass.
No
that's what it's called.
No lifts.
As soon as you hear that crack, boo, you're gonna pop up.
No, I didn't hear it crack. It just
is that a spot?
Man, that's like a 3-ply lifting suit or something.
Boom. So what would happen if you put 2 phones? So you might go that extra like.
If you do that, it's called paying $300 a month.
Yeah. That's how much suits cost over that sometimes.
We might have just come up with a new idea. It's a phone and a lifting suit.
A used phone. Anyway, we're getting back on the question. I know when I was lifting weights, I wanted to get cut and big at the same time. I wanted to have all. Well, I want to go 2 directions and try to get there the same way. Since the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
But I knew I was working out, but I want to get big and cut at the same time. I want to get big, build the biggest muscles possible, but also keep my 6-pack.
That's everybody's goal, obviously, is add muscle and not add any fat.
Yeah.
It's slightly impossible, because even at the best possible rate, you're probably at 75% lean tissue, 25% fat. And depending on body types, when you have your ectomorph, your mesomorphs, your endomorphs, an ectomorph who's naturally really thin anyways, they can add a significant amount of muscle mass and not really gain any extra body fat in the process.
So just real quick, is that you're talking about like the pole, the pear, and the apple?
Yeah, I guess. I'm talking about they're really
I'm trying to break it down for like for
It's going kindergarten on us,
right? Because there's the 3 different basic body types.
Yeah,
right,
there's the guy who can eat a lot and stay shredded and puts on muscle.
Yeah. Then there's that middle category where it's like he naturally carries good size, but he could also has propensity to add a little bit of fat too.
Yeah.
Then there's the endomorph, who's the much bigger guy who can add muscle, but also has an easy time adding a lot of fat too.
You gotta watch his
So it really depends on what kind of body type you're working with when it comes to like prescribing certain amounts of calories and carbs, because that really endomorph body type, that heavy guy, he's probably really carb sensitive. He probably blows up really quickly on a high carb diet. So you have to be careful with those kind of body types. Whereas that ectomorph skinny guy, you probably feed him 5 times his body weight in carbs and he still wouldn't be seeing body fat gain. So a lot of that has to do with insulin sensitivity, how their body processes carbs and things like that. And that's kind of where you see those different body types fill in. It's like, how their body's reacting to carbs is kind of the main thing. So that's where you have to kind of be, manipulating diets accordingly. Like this guy's, 260 pounds is trying to get more muscle and lean out. It's like you're not going to be able to do that for him. You're going to pick a goal, man. Let's either add 15 pounds of muscle and then shred you down, or get shredded first. That diet's going to be
get shredded and slowly kind of come back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think it is easier to gain muscle and then get shredded, or as opposed to get shredded and then continue to stay shredded and gain muscle?
So once again, it's a body type question, right? For that endomorph, that big guy, it's probably much easier to gain muscle. For the ectomorph, it's obviously much easier to be shredded because they have a hard time adding muscle. So it's person dependent, but
I should have paid attention when you were just talking.
Well, those are very general questions a lot of people have, but then it always comes down to what's the context? Who are we applying it to? And that's what makes the biggest difference. Is not everybody's going to fall in that same category. And even within those 3 subcategories, there's the ecto meso, there's the meso endo. There's all these in between. So you can break people down into probably 12 categories of body types, and then it's like so everybody's unique in that approach. So it's like the worst thing, I guess, or the hardest thing is that like everybody to do something super successful would need a very detailed approach, custom for them, and it would be very time consuming on both ends for that to work out, because there'd be a lot of trial and error. Like, it would start with feeding this person a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of carbs, watching them, seeing how they react, and then making adjustments accordingly. So everybody, it would be a very in-depth process, and most people aren't going to go through that. So it's like, what can I give you, or what can I show you to at least get you seeing results, and then it's kind of like throwing shit against the wall. What's going to stick? Eventually, you'll find out how your body reacts to things. And, it's just kind of. I guess the biggest thing comes down to education. Like letting people know these are the types of things that you should be doing. This is what you should avoid, and then it's up to you to start logging stuff, tracking your things.
Because then you kind of figure out what works for you.
Yeah,
Then
you get your own blueprint of what your body reacts to, and it's like, okay, when I was following this sort of regimen, I was seeing this, and if I can measure that and then make changes from it, that's gonna help me understand my body better. It's gonna help me understand what do I react to, and how can I get back into that shape. Because a lot of times I've gotten clients to be super shredded, and and they forget what it took to get there. They're like, man, I was super lean at this point, and I felt great, but I don't really remember how I did it. Or in your mind, you kind of almost forget how much work you really put in to get there. Because it always seems like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Looking back on it, but when you're in it, those 3 days of eating healthy, you're like, yes,
in the trenches, it's always worse.
It's always worse when you're in it. So it's like when you're reflecting back on a 3-month program, you're like, oh, it wasn't so bad. But in the first week of it, you're like, I can never stick this out. This is insane. So it's always like, it's just kind of seeing it through. Just getting people to just go to that next day, go to that next meal. Whatever psychological tips you can give yourself to keep going. It's it's a big thing. I like to tell people get a calendar and just put red X's for each day. And then you start seeing those X's piling up, and mentally you're going, man, I don't want to break my streak. I've got 8 days clean, just like an alcoholic. I've got 8 days here. I want to keep seeing more checks. And that's psychologically, it's kind of reinforcing that good behavior. So
usually I'll have clients put a picture of the body type that they want. Kind of be realistic. Pick a person out that kind of look like them, same size. Put on the refrigerator to remind them, hey, you know what? I'm working towards this.
Yeah, and the good thing is
so they can see it daily.
It's a daily reminder, and that's the thing. It's motivation comes and goes, right? Like today could be the most motivating day of your life, where you're like, I'm going to eat the healthiest diet ever. I'm going to work out like a fiend, and it's going to be amazing. But then tomorrow you could have the exact opposite feelings, and you're for no reason really. Other than the fact that you just don't have that same motivation, and then it's like that's where people fall off, because it's like they expect that initial motivation to carry them through a 12-week program. That's never going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You have to reinforce that every day.
Yeah, and out of all psychological energies, willpower is the first energy that gets zapped the first. So you have to learn, you have to train yourself how to rebuild willpower. It's not something that just happens, right? You actually have to mentally work on how do I regain and kind of rebuild my willpower. And every successful person in any industry, at some point in time, is going to have some sort of visual representation of what that success is like. So whether it's a vision board, a wish board, putting that picture of themselves shred, whatever it is, that visual representation really, really works. And those there's a reason why people put big red X's on a calendar, because that's
progress. That's progress.
Dang, it looks really good. It looks stimulating. You're like, like you said, I don't want to break that.
It looks like I'm moving forward in the right direction.
It's showing you. It's like, man, I haven't messed up. So is this dessert really worth breaking that streak of 10 good days? It's like,
what about being on a good streak? Say you're 2 months into it and you're doing superb, and then you do have just one bad day. And then I get phone calls or text what do I do? I just want to. I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not.
Just get over it.
Just go to the next day. But they're like, oh man, I'm gonna binge. And I'm like, well, just finish your binge and then go.
It's the snowball effect that really
you don't want to snowball
programs. Because it's not that one bad day that's going to ruin your program.
Exactly.
It's the next day.
It's the weekend. It's rolling it all together, and then you just kind of be like, you lose that motivation because you're like, whoa, I just already messed it up. It's like,
you didn't mess up. You got to keep it
that's
going.
One thing. It's like, I'll start on Monday. I'll start on the 1st, and then it's that mindset that keeps you never really ever getting anywhere, because you always think you can start over. With that attitude, you always will start over. So your diets just start and stop,
as long as you just start your diet back up the next day or that next meal.
Just
keep it going.
But it's only one day.
It's only 1 day.
1 day in the scheme of a 30-day meal plan is nothing. If you've done 20 days and you have one bad meal, 20 days of results is not going to be lost in 1 day. It's just basic math.
Exactly.
That just doesn't add up.
And so, I think everyone has this. They kind of fool themselves into thinking if I could do this and get to this body type, what I'm striving to get to, then I'm going to be happy. It's like, okay, cool. You got there. You put in all the work. But now what are you going to do? Because it's not like you can just do whatever the hell you want and stay that lean.
There's clients that get to that goal. I go, well, you got to have as soon as you get to that goal, you get shredded. Take your pictures. Take as many as you want.
Take a lot.
Take every picture from every angle. Break it out. Bust it out.
So you can use a new one each day when you're posting on Instagram. So you've been
But also just have then I'm like, okay, well then once you get there, you got to have another goal, and make sure you have another goal so that you're able to maintain that
The maintenance
healthy
plan is
lifestyle.
just as important as getting there, because it's like you said, your body's in a constant state of motion and change, and it's not ever going to just keep you where it's at from any day. I mean, a lot of people don't realize like how quickly their cells are regenerating day after day, and even your bone tissue, which most people don't assume. They don't assume they're getting a new skeleton, but in 6 months you have completely new bone tissue. So your whole body, everything that makes you up, is all new.
Fluctuating.
Is all new material in 6 months. So that's a big thing. Like when I eat, I go, this is the new foundation for whatever is going to become my muscle or skin or organs or fat or anything that you're eating. That's the building blocks. You know, I mean, it's that stupid. You are what you eat, but
it is.
It's true.
Super basic,
Kelly
but-
Strait actually talks about that with Kelly Strait and Joe Miller have a little thing, a little interview together. They talk about rebuilding and programming your fascia and your tissue. It's, you know, it can take years, but if you do the right things through nutrition, if you're on top of your stretching, if you're on top of all that stuff, you actually have the chance. Your body physically is going to regenerate. Yeah, so you can actually program a new body for yourself through doing those right things. But it all starts with nutrition. He's not a nutritionalist, but he even says, you know, it all starts with nutrition, because that's, like you said, that foundation.
Oh, just think about whatever that food is that you just consume is being broken down and turned into something. Whether it's being, you know, used to spur new muscle growth or to store more fat, you know, or replenish your liver or anything like that. I mean, that's essentially everything we eat is going somewhere, you know, until it comes out, you know, whatever's not digested. But it's like, you know, you have to realize that there's no such thing as a free meal. You know, even, you know, that beer is still going somewhere, you know, and it's like, you know, there's not everything's going to just pass through you 100%. It's like those things are all taking place. So, and the thing about another thing on fat loss, most people have a set amount of fat cells in the body, right? So you're not losing fat cells; you're just shrinking or enlarging them. And fat is being transported in and out of those cells all the time. It's in a constant state of coming in, coming out. So there's always fat storage and fat loss happening all day long, right? So it's how can I increase the rate of fat exiting my body and not, you know, the fat storage? And that's really what, you know, with the diet and things like that, you're trying to manipulate is really focusing on your body just getting rid of more of that fat.
Take it online.
Which brings me to a particular supplement that I like a lot, which is L-carnitine. A lot of people talk about it, but
Let's try to show it real quick.
oh, okay.
Is that one of the?
This has been around for a long time.
Yeah,
this
this
is a
is super
solid
old school.
supplement. Yeah.
L-carnitine is just an amino acid, also naturally occurring in meats. But essentially, L-carnitine helps transport fat out of the body. So it's the last step in removing fat out of the bloodstream. So it's kind of like finishing the fat off. You know.
So if
like,
I drink that whole bottle, I would just.
yeah, I don't know what would happen. You'd probably have the runs. It would probably come right out of you. But it's also really good for muscle endurance and exercise performance too. So L-carnitine, you know, like I said, naturally occurring in meats, but to supplement with an extra couple grams makes a pretty significant difference when you're, you know, eating healthy and you're trying to get those little extra fat pounds. So that's something that a lot of our clients have seen really good results using.
So I had two more specific questions. Do you have any? I already asked a question.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm an endurance athlete. What would you say are some key supplements for endurance athletes? So, you know, whether it's triathlon or marathon or anything like that.
Yours?
Yes.
The lower one?
I'm glad that you actually said that because I'm really thirsty.
I'm real
So what
thirsty
would be just a couple of things that, you know, I know hydration is obviously key, so any tips on hydration, but then some other, you know, your other minerals and stuff like that that really help the body with the endurance system.
The biggest thing to realize with endurance athletes is the amount of sweat that's coming out of your body, right? So losing electrolytes is a big issue. So sodium, potassium, magnesium, those are all going to be key elements that help your body kind of replenish those key electrolytes to keep you, you know, performing well over the long term. So other than just staying hydrated with water, some sort of electrolyte drink would be very, very beneficial.
Do you have a particular one that you like?
Not really. I mean, there's just, you know,
Yeah, there's a lot out
generic
there, yeah.
stuff, but I mean, just having a good electrolyte formula, you know, Cytomax is fine or something like that. But that's key, is replenishing those electrolytes. That's number one. Beyond that, depending on the diet, carbs being your primary source of glycogen and fuel for an endurance athlete. If, let's say, you know, you don't want to eat a meal, you know, right before you go for a long run or something. You don't want to be digesting a lot of food, for example. Just drinking a straight, you know, carbohydrate matrix drink or something like that has a lot of fast, medium, and slow digesting carbs together could help, just spur
Sustain
that energy so that you're not, relying on your body having to break food down, digest it, and then get it into the bloodstream. It's a much faster way to get those calories in. So like a good carb supplement usually helps a lot, and especially with the recovery too. When you finish that exercise, you finish that long event, restoring that glycogen is huge in preventing muscle breakdown. The longer you stay in a depleted state of glycogen, the more apt your body is to start breaking muscle tissue down then for fuel.
To get that
So
fuel.
that replenishment, when we were talking about the afterglow, that replenishment really helps refuel those muscle cells with glycogen, so that you're not then tapping into muscle tissue to start breaking that down. Obviously being on a high protein diet helps too, because you're not trying to lose muscle mass as well. And that's with endurance athletes, just like muscle gain, you're never gaining 100% muscle. Even when you're losing fat, you're still losing some lean tissue, primarily because lean tissue is just 70% water, right? So you are going to sacrifice lean tissue when you do high amounts of long training and things like that. You are going to go catabolic at certain points. So very hard to maintain extreme muscular size when you're doing such endurance training. But that's where the really good high protein diet comes in. So high protein, high carb would be your ideal diet for an endurance athlete. Keeping those dietary fats much athlete. If you want to do that way. But yeah,
Sweet. Thank you.
that answers it.
Yeah.
Blair.
What's the most overrated and most underrated supplement in your opinion?
Most overrated.
There's none.
Well, there's not in my store, but
Most overrated.
Or like that's new, like.
don't help him out. Keep him on the spot here. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's good. Most overrated, I think, is probably, and it's the most popular as well, is the pre-workouts, right?
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but pre-workouts, people rely on them way too much. They think it's going to make
I
the
like them
difference
a lot.
between. I love pre-workouts. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
But you got to realize, what is it actually doing for your body, and why are you needing it in the first place? Is it because you have low energy, you're fatigued? Did you not eat a good diet throughout the day to fuel you? Did you not have a good pre-workout meal an hour and a half before the gym? Those are all things that are going to contribute to feeling lethargic and tired, so that you're going to need that high stimulant, that high caffeine content to kickstart a workout. But I guess I call it most overrated because people, they assume it's going to help them, build more muscle or whatever like that, and then the pre-workout is literally the same as just getting a strong source of energy, so whatever that takes, because, there's not a lot in there that's going to help you build muscle if you're not putting the foundation in with your foods and things like that. So I think people expect too much from their pre-workout. That's why I say it's overrated, because, it's supposed to be there to give you a jump start. It's not supposed to be used every single day to power you through all your workouts, because then you're running on fumes. You're not running on actual fuel, and that's food. Food is your fuel, so you should be properly feeding yourself first. And if you want to get that little extra intensity so you can push out a few more reps, that's where it's good, and that's where I like pre-workouts, because those little 2 to 3 extra reps pushing out with that, intensity is going to make a good difference in muscle growth too. So that's why I call it overrated, though. It's just because I think
pre-workout for like the person who's using it the right way compared to if they're kind of guessing.
Right. Yeah. I guess, like I said, it has a lot to do with what that person's expecting that pre-workout to do for them. People come back to like, I didn't notice anything with it. I didn't get big off it. I didn't get cut. And I'm like, it's a pre-workout, man.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just kind of get you
some
just
energy,
a little bit of extra
focus.
motivation, a little
Yeah.
mental focus, and so it's good for its design purpose, but it's not, it's not the miracle product that people sometimes expect pre-workouts to be.
Yeah.
And then what was the other?
Underrated.
Most underrated. Well, it's hard to say protein's underrated, but I'd say it's the most important. And because it's great for fat loss, it's great for muscle gain. I guess I won't say protein though, because most people would assume they know they need protein by now. But I guess underrated in terms of fat loss or muscle gain.
I would just say, like,
let's say performance.
Performance enhancement. That's what we care about. Like, weights lifted,
The most underrated, man, I might say ZMA, which is zinc magnesium aspartate, which was developed by Victor Conti, who's Balco Labs. So the guy knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. But zinc and magnesium are two really trace minerals that you're not going to get through your diet unless you're eating like shellfish all the time, right? Those are high levels of zinc and magnesium. Most people aren't getting that in their diet. So to be deficient in that, there usually is a significant decrease in natural test production. Because those are two things that really help our bodies spur more lutein hormone production, which is in the testicles. Anyways, so ZMA, very underrated as a product because most people just assume it's zinc and magnesium, which it is.
Yeah.
But those two little minerals actually have a really significant positive impact on our natural test levels, our REM cycle sleep. So you take it before bed, and you really do get deep, good sleep. The better the sleep, the better quality of testosterone production at night as well. So that also enhances recovery. Better recovery means more growth, yada yada. But
I think magnesium is also excreted at a really high rate too. So
yeah,
your low magnesium levels as you work out, and there's actually a study that they did on professional athletes linking, especially track runners and football players, with low levels of magnesium being highly correlated to heart attack and cardiovascular
your
arrest.
body's dumping it at such a high rate. Yeah. So supplementing with something as simple as magnesium also improves muscular contractions and things like that. So it's just such a basic supplement that people just overlook it a lot. You know, it's like one of those things like, well, it's only like $15.
What about people who are trying to combine it?
That good, but it's one of the best things I think I've ever used. You know, naturally. So
is there can you combine it, or would you suggest you purchase one that's combined at the right proportions?
ZMA is proprietary.
Together.
Okay. So there's a certain blend.
So
and
there is a certain
dosage.
dose. It's like 450 milligrams of magnesium.
Which
and,
one would you
like
suggest
30 milligrams
here?
of zinc.
Can you show us?
Yeah, I mean, we carry a couple different brands, but I mean, like essentially, if it says ZMA, that's a trademark name, so it's going to be the same proprietary.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what if I were to go to like Rite Aid and try to combine my own like?
Right, it might not be your best spot.
you could take a straight zinc and take 30 milligrams of that, and then go buy pure magnesium and take 450 milligrams of that. You could make your own ZMA. This also comes with vitamin B6, which is a natural cofactor that helps your body absorb it better.
Okay. See, that's what I was talking about before.
But yeah, I mean, so essentially though, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it definitely has been the closest thing to, I guess, a natural testosterone producer that they've found. So I guess another good source of zinc and magnesium that a lot of guys don't get when they're cutting and stuff is also nuts. You know, like walnuts and Brazil nuts pack a good amount of that stuff. But that's more if you're trying to gain size. I'd be like, yeah, load up on those nuts. But when you're trying to cut, because you're keeping your dietary fats low, it's nice to supplement with the ZMA. So.
What would you also say is your target audience, especially being a storefront versus being like an internet front? I mean, obviously, internet fronts now are pretty popular. There's this one, there's that one, they're all over the place. But being a storefront, what is your usual clientele? Obviously, we've got a 24-hour
our clients,
2 blocks down.
It's a wide range. You know, I mean, we have a lot of the young college crowd, you know, who just wants to be in shape. They want to be fit for spring break, and that's all good. But then we have the mid 40s range where it's like their bodies aren't reacting the same way. It's those people who come in, they're like, I used to be able to do whatever I want. Now I can't. You know, like, help me, please, because it's like I no longer understand why my body's not responding the same way. And so a significant portion of our clients are those people who they're exhausted of options because they're like, you know, I read all these things online, I've read a million articles, and they all contradict each other, and it's like, what am I really supposed to do? You know, and I think a lot of our job is just educating people and, like, you know, saying, like, well, what is it that your body's going to respond to? It's not going to be, you know, the same prescribed diet that's being put out there by 50 different, you know, dietary people. You know, it's like, so it's hard because you're overwhelmed with information online, and so what we do is try to help sort through that and be like, look, you know, there's some very key things that are very important. You're going to ignore 99% of what's out there, you know, because it's all, you know, for any study that's done, you can always manipulate the findings in a positive direction or a negative direction. You know, it's what do you choose to highlight and emphasis in that study. You know, they could say the same thing in 2 different studies, and one could be like, well, this is great for fat loss, and in the same exact study, this is terrible for fat loss. You know, so it's like, who's funding the study? Who's putting out the research? Who's writing the article? It's like, why? You know, it's a lot of those articles. I mean, sad to say, majority of people get their health tips from Yahoo. It's like, those articles are bogus because they're written by contributors, you know, people who just write in and then they submit them to Yahoo. It's like, these people don't even have any background in anything. So but anyways, it's just, our clientele are people who are just literally looking for that, you know, that change that they haven't seen in a long time. You know, that's a big thing. Is that people who
Re-educate them about
they've struggled for a long time.
them,
Yeah. They've just been like, look, I feel like I've tried 100 diets. I've done this. I've done that. You know, what is it that I need to do? You know, and then we're like, all right. So then it's kind of what we do. So, but
Awesome. Heck yeah. Anything else?
I'm all wrapped up.
all right,
I'm good.
Time to plug anything? Or are you gonna always wear it 5-star and pocket somewhere? I don't know where we are.
It is 7600 Greenhaven Drive,
Right here,
number 20,
5-star. 5-star.
Sacramento, California.
Come and see Chris.
we got a lot of
Heck yeah.
clothes too. So.
Yeah. What would be, just real quick actually, what would be your highlight if you wanted to highlight a particular product? What product would you want to highlight or plug real quick?
Like I said, my favorite product is going to be protein because I think everybody benefits from a high protein diet. So if I'm picking one in particular, our most popular is going to be the Intech Evolution.
Brian uses that.
It's by far, in a way, like the most quality protein I've ever used. It's stevia sweetened, so it's a natural sweetener. There's no Splendas or sucralose or aspartame.
Nice.
It's gluten-free. It's got a high amount of fiber and digestive enzymes in there to help your body actually intake 30 grams at once. You know, so there's a lot of good things about it. It mixes well. The taste is probably the number one reason why people buy it because it actually tastes good. You know, protein shakes used to taste terrible, so it's like it's a good tasting one.
Yeah, usually when I suggest a protein, I'm like, try a few out because, I mean, most people, for me, I like protein. I've grown up on protein, but people are so sensitive to the taste. It's like, go try a few.
Find a protein you like and you stick with it because it's not something you need to switch out every month like a pre-workout. It's not something that you're always looking for a new one. If you find a protein you really like and it works for you, keep it. You know, because it's kind of
Buy a blender. You can make any protein taste good with a blender.
True
You
that.
got time for that. You got time for a blender.
I like plain protein. I just throw water in it.
This guy will puts his protein on his yams and you're crazy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Put protein on everything too.
It tastes good.
Coffee, little
Yams and
in there.
protein and oatmeal powder. I mean, protein powder and oatmeal. Protein powder and milk. What else?
Protein powdered milk is this a protein shake?
Milkshake ice.
Protein and milk.
Actually, there you go. Iced coffee
Wow.
and protein.
I threw a scoop of protein in iced coffee.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
That's
Yeah.
standard.
Caffeine
exactly.
Kilos, Hintz.
Yes.
Caffeine and
Oh,
kilos.
Hintz,
Yeah.
Hintz.
Let's tell
Caffeine and Kilos.
See what we have right here.
Blend.
Yeah.
Caffeine and
Protein
kilos.
coffee.
You might have to try
Great
that.
coffee.
Throw like 2 scoops of isolate in that bag, shake it up.
Heck yeah. It's freaking awesome. Chris.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks
Awesome.
for your
Thank
time,
you.
man.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet
no,
you.
heck
yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
You want to shake his hand, dude?
I'm trying to see if we can shake my hand into the camera.
All right.
Have fun editing the 2 mediums together. With
Actually,
the
they're gonna just split it, so it's all good.
It's easy.
And
It's
it's
easy.
gonna die.
Yeah, with iMovie, it's easy too. You just put them together.
Put them together.
Yeah, and then you're done. Then export.
That's it.
Peace.
Cool.
Heck yeah.